What's up, folks? Coach Matteo Marra here, and today we're going to take a look at Paul Mescal from Gladiator. This hot hunk of a man has been getting all kinds of attention. People have been DMing me, asking me about his physique, whether or not I think it's realistic, what I think about his training and nutrition protocol. So I've pulled up a few documents, a blog post, a video about his training, and we're just going to review them and take a look and see how things are going, what I like, what I didn't like. And yeah, if you've never seen my videos before, my name is Matteo. I've lost 50 pounds on twice in my life, and I spent the last 8 years coaching guys to help them lose fat and get in shape using a simplified approach. All right, we've got this article from GQ here, how Paul Mescal built his body for Gladiator II, according to the guy who trained him. He had just 12 weeks until filming was due to start, and he reached out to Tim Blakely, a Navy man turned bodybuilder and PT to the stars. Very cool. They wanted him to put on size and get stronger. I don't know why that really matters for a movie, but okay. He didn't want to go down the Marvel route of looking cartoony. We were thinking back row, rugby player type, strong, fit, fast, and agile, like a decathlete. Paul is an athlete, says Blakely. He played Gaelic football at quite a high level, so he was really body aware coming into it. Most people don't realize that having an athletic background, playing sports, gives you a massive advantage when it comes to doing this body transformation style of training. Having more work capacity means you can get more hard hypertrophy or muscle building style training done in a single session. It means you know how to push yourself even when it burns or you're sore or you're tired. You have that next gear that you can already unlock mentally, and it's just a huge advantage. Imagine you were just an accountant for 30 years and you decided to start pushing really hard in the gym. You just don't yet know how to physically push yourself very hard. It's a skill you can learn over time, but it's nice that he knew beforehand. I really love this part of the article too. They say, looking back by the standards of today's blockbusters, Russell Crowe's physique in the original Gladiator was way more attainable for the average guy, 100%. Physique inflation is totally real. If you look back at OG Wolverine in the first X-Men movie to what we see now in the latest Wolverine Deadpool movie, he's just way more jacked than he used to be. He's way more shredded. The lighting, they have to make everything look over the top now. But they're saying that Mescal's approach to getting ripped went the same way, partly by design and partly because there's only so big you can get in 12 weeks, 100%. All right, finally, we're actually getting into what they did with the workouts.
Squatting, pushing, pulling. Like, it's nothing, we didn't kind of change the wheel with it. It was all kind of pretty standard in that regard, but I was keen for it not to look like false or kind of overly aesthetic.
Basically, anyone who's ever actually gotten jacked in their life will tell you that it's not fancy exercises that makes this happen. It's the basics, push hard, relatively close to failure for an extended period of time where you're consistently adding some weight or some reps time and time again. There's no special exercise that'll blow up your arms. It's just all that boring shit that nobody wants to do. They were working out 5 or 6 days a week. Interesting. They did a standard push, pull, legs, split, focusing on short, intense reps while Mescal was working on the West End. Push, pull, legs is a very popular split. It's effective. It's a great way to set things up. But honestly, I don't know if I would go purely with push, pull, legs if I only had 5 days per week. So with the 6 day per week thing, it makes sense because then you're really directly targeting each muscle group twice per week, which we know is probably better for muscle growth than just training each muscle once per week. Short, intense reps is also a great idea because he has some theater stuff going on at the same time. And just like we see in in-season athletes who are doing weight training, we don't want to be doing a ton of very slow eccentrics, training at muscle lengths that are very long, because that makes you super sore, it beats you up, and it's just not a really ideal way to train when you already have physically demanding performance, whether on the field or on the stage later that evening. Blakely then upped the intensity to 1 body part per session 5 days a week. Upping the intensity to 1 body part per session 5 days a week, I'm not 100% sure if that's the best scenario for building muscle, but then Blakely goes on to say, obviously there's a lot of crossover in that. Shoulders are working on chest day, triceps are working on shoulder and chest day, and biceps are working on back days too. So yes, obviously there's gonna be a lot of indirect volume hitting these muscles twice a week. I'm sure with his program design, we were doing things in a smart way, but just going all in and blasting a muscle 1 day per week and then coming back and doing it again the next day might not actually be the best way to build muscle. You probably do better by just splitting that volume up between 2 days and yeah, doing it that way. Okay, so they do a warm-up feeder set with an intermediate weight, and then they'd go into 2 rounds of hard, heavy lifts per exercise. That's amazing. Doing warm-up sets before your actual working sets not only gives you a chance to just psychologically get prepared to actually push hard and take the set close to failure, but it also acts as a great pre-flight check in a way to make sure everything's all feeling good. Okay, my shoulder is still attached to my body, the equipment is in the right place, and this exercise is feeling good today. And just 2 working sets is probably plenty to drive growth in Mr. Mescal here, who is an actor and hasn't been training extensively or consistently with weights for a very long time. He doesn't need an astronomical amount of work in order to build muscle. 2 high quality sets that I'm sure this guy Blakely was shouting in his ear, making him train hard. That is so much goddamn work for people who are training hard. And if you think 2 sets sounds like a very small amount of work and it doesn't sound like it will be enough for you, then I'd encourage you to audit the quality of your sets first. Just take a video of yourself while you're in the gym, look back at it, see if your technique breaks down close to the end of the set, see if you just sandbag and phone it in as soon as the set starts getting hard, or see if your technique breaks down so you're no longer holding the muscles to the fire once it starts getting difficult. It says also that we might add in drop sets every now and then, says Blakely, a technique that involves performing a set of exercises until you reach failure, and then immediately reducing the weight and repeating the exercise. So we do a triple drop set maybe on chest press, for example, which is a very smart thing if you have a short period of time to train somebody, because it's basically like you doing a little mini set. Getting that next approach to failure, again, after already doing an approach to failure in the first set, is just an extra way to drive stimulus in a way that doesn't take as much time as resting a full 2 minutes or whatever and then doing a whole nother set. And then Blakely says a lot of actors miss leg day, but it was really important to us. If you're running around an arena, you need big, powerful legs, and it helps your gait. We wanted him to walk into that arena with a powerful walk, and he did. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, folks. I don't know if it's as much about how he's actually striding and stepping and walking, as opposed to just like, if he's pretty jacked and built up top and he just had like little tiny chicken legs, it just doesn't look the same. You look more realistically athletic and fit if you had a little bit more quad meat, glute meat, and ham meat on you. So I think that's probably a smart thing. Okay, now we're into the diet. Nutrition-wise, they're saying that he's stuck with eggs, chicken, beef, rice, and fish, and so on, which is awesome. You really don't need anything fancy in order to transform your body. I think it's way overblown that we need to have like this sea moss and the fucking algae and the organic goji berries and all this fancy stuff. It's BS. This whole superfoods concept is a complete money grab. And he goes on to say that he does drink and he does smoke. The trainer Blakely doesn't see this as a problem, equating a few pints to calories in, calories out. If you're prepared to sacrifice on the other end, that's something we can do. Great, let's be realistic here. Obviously, alcohol and smoking don't make your fitness progress happen any faster. If anything, they probably slow it down. But the trainer was like, look, man, I'm willing to meet you where you're at. Obviously, I can't just have you live in a hyperbolic time chamber and make you do everything I say because you're a realistic person. And if he did say that, guess what? Frickin' Paul Mescal would have fired this guy's ass and found someone else who was willing to work around his limitations. So it's important that you find something that's realistic you can stick with, even if you're an A-list celebrity or whatever. Okay, we've got him here at an award show on the left, but on the right, damn, bro's looking pretty good. I mean, seriously, this guy is, I think, somewhere in that 12% body fat range. He's got a decent amount of muscle in the arms, he's got some biceps, he's got some shoulders. That chest work they were doing definitely came through. We've got some visible abs, and when they smear him with some grime, give him some good lighting and probably some, spritz and makeup, this dude looks great. This is lean, this is athletic, this guy is muscular. I think this is 100% achievable for most natural dudes. You definitely don't have to do anything crazy to get a physique like this. This guy's not crazy, crazy lean by any means, and he's also not crazy, crazy muscular. I'm gonna imagine this guy probably weighs something like 170 to 180 at 5'11". So he's not like a huge jack bodybuilder by any means.
I don't have a lot of patience with that stuff, and Tim knew that, so it was a kind of, the process was like a little, but often for 4 or 5 months leading into it.
Look, honestly, the most difficult thing for a trainer to do is to get a client to buy into the plan and get them invested in the process and actually committed to doing the things they need to be doing. And I feel for these celebrity trainers, man. Like, these people, they're not here to be in shape. This guy's an actor. He's an artist. He loves what he does. He loves his craft, and he's doing this because he has to as part of his job. It's part of the role. He's not doing this because he wants to. This dude doesn't just walk around jacked and love lifting weights. So honestly, hats off to the trainer for keeping this guy invested for, I think he was saying 4 or 5 months, which is a solid amount of time. I mean, we're talking about 20 weeks of eating and training in a way that's structured. That's probably not something he'd normally do. He didn't have to give him any special protocol or do anything crazy. He just had to get him to show up. When you're a beginner and you haven't been training consistently for very long, just about any training program will help you build muscle. And when you have a lot of fat to lose, losing fat happens very quickly. Well, there you have it. I think the average man could definitely achieve a physique like Paul Mescal has by putting in a solid 1 to 2 years of specific muscle growth style training, eating a high protein diet, getting plenty of sleep, and then doing a fat loss diet and bringing themselves somewhere down to around that 12% body fat level. You're not gonna be some enormous jacked bodybuilder who's like 250 pounds or anything like that, but you're gonna have an awesome physique that is what I would say far above average with what you see in the gym or on the beach. Don't complicate this, folks. Get yourself into a simple workout routine that helps you build muscle, and then use your food to support that process. For more detailed information, read my free guide, Body Recomp 101, that'll show you exactly what you need to be doing with your training, your nutrition, and your lifestyle in order to build muscle while losing fat, just like Paul Mescal did in this movie. You can grab that for free using the link in the description box. I'm stoked to go see this movie now. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you think the algorithm should show it to other people, and subscribe to my channel so I can see you in the next one. Peace.